I can hear it now. Clickbait title, clickbait thumbnail, what happened to your car? Right here, I'll show you guys. If you're following me on Instagram, you'll already know what happened because I posted about it and put it on my story when it did happen. But that's exactly what happened. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll what I put on my Instagram story right here, and then after that's done playing, I'll provide you guys some context to what I said there. This morning is off to a wonderful start, to say the least. On the side of the freeway, like 5 minutes from work. That's terrific. So I guess a downside of driving a lowered car, the jack that was in the car would not fit under it, and then I got it low enough to where it would fit under it, and then I couldn't get it to go back up. I think I just did it too far down low. But as you can see, on the tires are fine. They're pretty much gone anyways. This car really needed new tires, so I'm not too mad, but I tried to drive it about a half mile. I was down there in the Gore area, but I'm now down here a little bit closer to the Cardinals Stadium, and was hoping to make it to a Walmart that was about a mile away, but clearly that's not going to happen. So before I actually damage my wheel, I'm just going to stop, have it towed home, and get the tires I want. Yep, so I was on my way to work this morning, and I was driving on the freeway. My whole commute is pretty much on the highway for about 30 minutes, and I'd say probably about 5 minutes before my tire actually blew, I heard a weird noise for like a second, and initially I just thought that I'd run over something, but I didn't see anything in the road because obviously I was paying attention, so I thought that was a little bit weird. And then about 5 minutes away from my work, I heard a loud pop, and then I could tell I had a flat. So right after that, I was going over a freeway overpass, so I pulled over into the Gore area on the on-ramp because that was really the closest place that I could get safely, and I'm glad I stopped there. And as you saw from that first video, the tire did not look like this. So I pulled over, got my stuff out of the trunk to change out my spare, or to put the spare on, I should say. I have a full-size spare, thankfully, because the 16-inch donut would not fit over these brakes. But point being, because this car is now sitting lower, because I mean there's not really any tire on it, as you can see, I decided, okay, whatever, I'm gonna try and make it to this Walmart that's about a mile away, and hopefully they can just put some new tires on for me there. Long story short, I pulled out of the Gore area. I was probably doing about 10-15 miles an hour, and that's when the tire actually like completely shredded to the condition it is in now. I mean, you can see the sidewall and the actual tire pretty much just completely separated all around. So after I could tell that was happening, I just had to stop, and at that point I couldn't really move the car. Now thankfully, because I stopped when I did, the wheel does not appear to be damaged at all. I've been looking around the rim of it here, and you can see that even though it looks at first glance like it's staying on the ground, it's maybe like a millimeter or two off of the ground. So the wheel is not damaged at all, which is good. From what I can tell also, the fender liner might be a little bit beat up, but it looks like it's fine for the most part. So I'm very lucky that this didn't actually damage anything. If I had tried to drive the whole way to Walmart, even going like 10-15 miles an hour like I was, I'm sure it would have actually destroyed something, so I'm glad I stopped when I did. As you can tell though, these tires are about 4 years old, and I was planning to get new tires probably before the new year, but I didn't want to do it just yet because, I mean, you can see these don't have a ton of tread on them, but they've got enough tread on them to where they were still fine. So I'm sitting there on the side of the freeway, and I realized, well, I pretty much have to call a tow truck at this point, whether it's to tow it to a tire shop nearby or to tow it back home. So I called a tow truck. I ended up just having them tow it back here home, which was about 25 miles away. Even though it was more expensive, this gives me time to just have the car sit here, not have to worry about it being stuck at a tire shop somewhere where I have no idea what's really going on with it. And this way I can actually take time and get the exact tires I want. So when the tow truck driver got there, I could already tell that there was a very high chance my lip was going to get destroyed. Unfortunately, I did not have my toolbox with me. Coincidentally, it was in the Turbo X, not this car. So I couldn't take the front lip off. It's a bunch of clips, and then there's some 8mm underneath, so I couldn't get to those 8mm. I tried to do it by hand, but I couldn't. So I just had to deal with the most like nails on a chalkboard situation I've ever had to deal with, which is the lip just sliding over the tow truck when he loaded it on and when he took it off. And thankfully there was a bunch of like oil and coolant and stuff that kind of like made it a smoother process, and it was also only on the underside, and he was also able to drive it up onto the tow truck, thankfully, so we didn't have to use chains. But the lip is pretty much unscathed. If you guys enjoy this video, if you enjoy my pain though, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It'll really help me out and help me reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, that's what's going on with the ARC right now. I was planning on making a video soon when I did get new tires, but I guess that video is happening today. If you guys missed my recent video, I did put some carbon fiber mirrors on the Turbo X, so make sure go ahead, check that video out. I'll link it up here in the top corner, but they look really, really good on the car. New day, so the plan is to take off all 4 wheels. I'm going to take the wheels down to the tire shop and then hopefully get tires on them either later today or by tomorrow at the latest, and then we should be all good to go. But now I've got to drive the car up onto some wood planks first because my jack doesn't fit. I don't think I mentioned this yet, but if you're curious, the tires that are on here right now are from a brand called Sumitomo. Now the reason why I have these tires on here is I got these wheels right after I got the car about 4 years ago, a little bit over 4 years ago, and I didn't really know much about cars at the time, or tires for that matter either, and these had good ratings, and they were relatively cheap. So when I got these wheels off a tire rack, I also got those tires mounted on them. And I mean, they were pretty good tires. I mean, they put what, over 30,000 miles on them. So they lasted me a good amount of time for considering they're fairly low profile. So overall, I'm happy with them. I just want to try out something different this time. Never had a flat or anything until obviously this. So they were good tires. I mean, you can see that the tire was starting to bang off the fender liner there, but it didn't break anything. I think if I had continued to drive it, then obviously the damage would have gotten worse, but that would have just been really stupid of me to do, so I'm glad I stopped when I did. Here you go, you can see the tread a little bit better here, so it wasn't great, to say the least. Like I said, if I would have gone to a tire shop right now anyways, they'd probably been like, yeah, you need new tires, but they held up for a long time. This one's got a little bit better tread on it. I tried to rotate them fairly frequently, but this one is starting to get pretty bald now that I look at it more. But anyways, the damaged tire, you might want to see this in more detail. I'm going to be careful with it because the rim is just kind of hanging in here, and I really don't want to scratch it up badly, but that's the inside of it. I mean, that thing just pretty much completely gave out. These wheels are also extremely dirty. From here they might not look like it, but when you really get in close and look at it, they are absolutely filthy. So I'm going to also buy some really good wheel cleaner to clean these up once I get them back with new tires. Also need to do an oil change on the car, so I guess now is a perfect time to do that since it's all jacked up. But yeah, let's go ahead, load all these wheels up into the Pathfinder and go drop them off.
The very next evening.
Just got the wheels back. It's been a day, so I'll show you guys here what tires I went with and why I went with them. So these tires, I initially was going to go with Michelin's because we have Michelin Pilot Sport. I think it's like AS3s, something like that, on our 9.5, and I've always just really liked Michelin, so I was going to go with those. But one, they were pretty expensive, which wasn't really a big deal. I was willing to spend the money. But two, they just don't last super long. Like, they only had 20 to 30,000 miles with the lower profile. That's what the guys were saying that they were rated at. So they recommended me this tire, and this is a Nitto Motivo, it's called. So I read some reviews. They're very good tires. They spoke very highly of them as well. They also have about a 50,000 mile warranty on them, so that's plenty. I'm very happy with that. It's got some nice aggressive tread here as well. So there's all 4 wheels. I also spent a lot of time cleaning the wheels, so they look a lot better now. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead, throw these back on the car, and then we can take it out, and I guess I can give you guys some initial impressions on how I like these tires. The smell of fresh rubber is very intoxicating. I don't know why. It's like the smell of gasoline. Like, they just smell good. I don't know how to explain it. One thing I do want to mention here quickly, before I forget, is the profile of these tires, because that's a question I seem to get frequently regardless. So the old tires I had were 235/40s, and these are 225/45. So that's what they recommended, was the 225/45, because one of the things I really wanted to make sure I didn't have were tires that kind of bubble out on the sides. I don't like that look. I prefer tires that are kind of flush with the wheel like these are, so that's why they recommended that tire size. So I just went with those, and they look good. They fit the car well, so I'm pretty happy with it. I want to apologize for the poor lighting. I'm filming at night right now, which I don't usually do, but you can see how it sits flush with the wheel here. It doesn't bubble out on the sidewall. I'm going to throw the other 3 wheels on now, and to avoid repetitiveness, I'll catch up with you guys when I'm lowering the car. I put a few miles on the tires now, and I have to say, initial impressions, I'm very happy with them. They ride great, they're really quiet. I don't obviously have an out of balance wheel anymore, which was very annoying, but I figured I'd just ride it out till I got new tires, so of course we're all good now. But I'm very happy with these tires. So I guess let me know what you think down below. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Thankfully this issue is all sorted though. Thankfully I didn't destroy my wheel on the tire that did go flat. But one other thing, I think that this tread and just kind of the profile of the tire itself, it just looks really aggressive. I'm not sure how else to really say it. Like, I don't know, just something about it. It looks really, really aggressive. So I'm happy with that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, again, make sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you all next time.